Good morning, Internet. Allow me to introduce a friend and colleague of mine, Mark Manwaring-White. Mark, hello.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
And I'm Stephen Nelson-Smith, the founder of Expressive Audio. And Mark is here with us to talk to us about all things Valve, Ming Dar, and audio detail.
Yep.
So just to get started, Mark, tell us a little bit more about how you got involved in this industry.
Well, as a child, I was very much influenced by Valve technology, being in my 60s. And I learned about it at school, and I was a radio ham. And I went into electronics. And then about 10 years ago, I happened to be in China and found the Ming Dar factory. I was in another business sector completely, but I went to visit Ming Dar, spent an afternoon and a very good evening out with the owners, and I was hooked. I then changed my business completely and became a distributor for them.
So Ming Dar is the products that you distribute, and we are dealers in Ming Dar. What is it about Ming Dar that you particularly love?
Well, when I first went there, the first thing I spotted was there was no hum from any of the speakers, unlike the Valve amplifiers I made back in the when I was 15. Secondly, was the absolute beautiful quality of build. Everything is hand built. There's no printed circuit boards. Everything is point to point, but with neat and artistry, which makes such a difference. It's sheer quality of build and care taken to make these things amplifiers sound good.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we include some pictures of that, because I remember we had a look inside some, Mark, and I was just staggered at the beauty.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Even their most basic products are built in the same way. Everything from their £1,000 amplifier to their £25,000 amplifiers are built in exactly the same way.
So why valves then? Why are you particularly interested in valves rather than more modern transistors? They're cheaper, they're more powerful.
Why valves? Okay, well, I started with valves, so I understand. And I had 40 years of transistor amplification through from Sinclair to Amstrad to Onkyo to all sorts of different things. And I thought, I was so struck by how good these amplifiers were. I bought some samples and I set them up and compared one CD on Valve amp, transistor amp, and suddenly I was hearing stuff I'd never heard before in 40 years of listening. Purely, there was information that had appeared from nowhere. Secondly, I found myself drifting off to sleep and relaxing. Never happened with transistor amplifiers, but with a Valve amplifier, there's something in the sound that just relaxes you.
Yeah, so there's something wonderfully wholesome and natural about the Valve sound, isn't there?
It's down to the simplicity of the product, not multiple hundreds of devices amplifying. In a typical operation amplifier, there's only up to 50 or 100 transistors. And an amplifier, a Valve amplifier, there might be 3 valves. That's it.
Very, very simple. And like you say, with just wires stuck together, not even any circuit boards.
No.
So what about audio detail, your own custom stuff? How did that come about?
Right. Well, when I started with Ming Dar, I loved their amplifiers, but I felt their phono stages were very weak. So I started redesigning the MC767, and I've upgraded an awful lot of those since. Then I thought, well, I may as well build my own. So I built a few using different valves. And then I suddenly thought, new Vistas. What is a new Vista? A new Vista is a miniature triode that has been used for years for VHF amplification, looking something like that. And it is still a valve. It has a grid, a cathode and an anode, and heaters. And it is just very small, very low noise. It was designed to compete with transistors in the 50s and early 60s, which it did in VHF tuners, in TVs. In my case, the ones I use are from Russia, from the Soviet Union. They were used in the MiG fighters and all sorts of interesting things in their radar systems. They generate a really good input stages for phono stages, not as a marketing ploy, as a pure sound feature, low noise, good quality.
So I think many people have heard of New Vista and they'll think musical fidelity. Are they using New Vistas like this too?
They are using New Vistas in their phono stages, and their power amplifiers, alongside a huge amount of silicon circuitry op amps and transistors and all sorts of things, where my phono stages have 6 New Vistas, and that's it. No silicon anywhere. You don't need the rest. And some use New Vistas and conventional triodes. Is just depending on the version.
So if somebody were listening to this and thought, you know what, I could be quite interested in that, but I don't really know where to start. Maybe they've already got a hi-fi, or maybe they're thinking about getting something, and they've seen these enormous valve amplifiers on the, on blogs or articles or so forth, and they think, gosh, that must cost a package. How would they start without breaking the bank?
Well, the entry-level products from Ming Dar are astonishingly good. They start at just around £1,000 to about £1,300, which is the price of many transistor amplifiers these days, and they go right up. The sky's the limit. So it's very, very affordable, plug and play type amplifier these days, with good reliability. These days, I give them a 3-year warranty because I know they're going to work. The valves get a year. The amplifiers last forever. I have them coming in over after 15 years for servicing and that sort of stuff. People hang on to them and just go on using them because they are simple, effortless.
Yeah, and of course I would say come and speak to me, because we'll give you good advice, and we'd love to help you.
Expressive Audio can do all these things and demonstrate it all properly. We have a demo facility as well, so we are open for business, as they say.
And how about sort of some of the concerns? Are they valves, and are they very fragile? Do you need speakers that are extremely sensitive? Okay,
well, valves are not that fragile, considering the amplifiers arrive from Ming Dar, for example, in a box, and they're sent air freight, and they're chucked around by whichever air, FedEx or whatever, and they arrive here. I open them up, I test each one individually, inspect it and check it. I haven't had a dead one yet in 10 years. I've had one broken valve, I think. No, they're not delicate. They're quite sturdy. And some of the bigger amplifiers use the 805 valve, which was used in Lancaster bombers as a transmitting valve, and they're quite sturdy. So it's very easy. Now, driving speakers, we do amplifiers from 80 watts, in fact, down as low as 9 watts, right up to 150 watts, which is bigger than an awful lot of AV amplifiers. We can drive pretty well any speaker on the planet, within reason.
Splendid. All right. I guess I don't think I have any more questions for now, but it's been a pleasure to chat with you again, Mark.
As always, Stephen.
And we look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Take care.